Hello. Today we're gonna be watching gamers who turn into notorious killers. Ooh, this is Visual Venture Mike. Go follow him. Go subscribe. Go show him lots of love. He has awesome videos. All right, let's see.
A new Oxford University study is reigniting questions about whether violent video games make people violent.
Police were first alerted about the murders by members of an online gaming community.
Was
the suspect?
I'm curious to see your opinions on this topic because it's like a highly debated topic on how people are like, if video games cause violence, they will make people violent. I personally don't agree with that. I think if you're a psychopath, you're just a psychopath. I play a lot of video games where I'm like, you know, FPS, I'm playing Overwatch, I'm killing people and doing all this shit. That doesn't mean I want to go kill people in real life. It's actually... That makes no sense, bro. As a video game enjoyer. It's
Posted
just
about
not
the
make
alleged
sense.
crimes to the multiplayer adventure fantasy game Perfect World Void, which included pictures.
No? Okay, I'm glad everyone's saying no, it's cap, I don't believe it.
Video games ever produced for a mass market.
No.
People often say video games distract kids from school, but can games push someone to kill? Today we'll look at gamers who turned violent. As usual, we'll start with the lighter cases and end with the most disturbing ones. So
My
my goal
job
this year,
makes me
guys, is to
violent,
give you
not
guys
the-
double the amount of videos without
Oh my
sacrificing
God.
quality. To do that, we gotta keep growing. It would mean the absolute world if you subscribe, and I promise I will do my very best to make the best videos I possibly
Games are
can
an
for you guys
outlet
on
to
Visual Venture, and
amplify
you are
pre-existing
awesome.
tendencies.
Tyler Barris. Tyler Barris had
Elaborate
a
on that.
twisted sense of humor. He loved to scare people by making false device threats. He would
Isn't
dial
your shut the
911,
fuck
claim
up
that
about
there
my
was a
accuracy.
device in a mall, a school, or another crowded place.
Also, never feel obligated to sub. Never feel obligated to sub. You can watch for
This type
free.
of prank is called swatting. It's when someone calls the police
Never
about a
feel
bogus
obligated.
crime to get them to go to someone's house. Obviously,
Always
swatting
prioritize
is
yourself.
reckless, illegal, and deadly.
Always,
By the time
always.
he was
You always come
25,
first.
Tyler had a long record. He was wanted
Tyler.
for 30 device threats plus fraud
Damn!
and mischief charges. But he stayed
30?
on the run, avoiding the police again and again. Then came December 2017. Tyler was living on the streets of Los Angeles, California, and a gamer friend asked him for a favor.
Live
One
within
that
your
would
means,
cost
yeah.
an innocent man his life. The friend who needed a favor was a gamer called Viner. Viner was furious. He was in the
Ooh.
middle of an online argument with another Call of Duty player. They traded insults online.
Ooh,
but
Call of
Viner
Duty
threatened
players.
to confront the player in person. The other player called his bluff. He sent an address and wrote, "Please, try something."
Oh my God,
I'll be waiting."
he's actually
That was
dumb.
when
Why would he
Viner
do that?
reached out to Tyler. Everyone knew Tyler was
Why-
the best
why
at
would he
making
do that?
swatting calls. So Tyler handed him the address and told him to do his thing. Tyler grabbed his phone and dialed 911. Tyler pretended to be
Never
a
give someone your
deranged man
address.
holding his mom and brother hostage. He claimed he would burn the house down. Then he gave the police the address, daring them to stop him. The cops
Yeah!
didn't hesitate. They jumped.
Sorry, let me pause it a little bit. Yes, you could get Twitch Turbo. Twitch Turbo, I feel like not enough people know what it is. You don't get ads at all when you're watching any stream. Highly recommend getting that too.
Into their
like, what,
cars and
$10
raced to the
a month?
address. But there was one
Got to go
problem.
buy.
Tyler
Bye,
and
good
Viner thought
luck.
they were sending police
Have a good
to
day.
the gamer they fought with, but they were tricked. In reality, the gamer gave them the wrong address. That address actually belonged to Andrew Finch,
No,
an ordinary man
that's
with no connection to the fight at
mean.
all. Andrew had no idea that armed officers were racing to his home to stop a non-existent hostage situation. But the night was about to
No.
turn deadly. Around 5 p.m., police
An
arrived at
innocent
Andrew's home.
person, dude.
Completely unaware of that 911 call, 28-year-old Andrew Finch opened his front door.
Andrew stepped outside and saw armed officers pointed at him. To the police, Andrew was the 911 caller holding his family hostage. To Andrew, nothing made sense. Officers ordered him to raise his hands, but Andrew didn't understand the seriousness of the situation. He hesitated, then lowered his arms. That's when the police
No.
did the unthinkable.
Did
Andrew
they
was
shoot
rushed to
him?
the hospital. Sadly, he didn't survive. When police
No,
searched
that's
the
so
home,
fucked
they
up,
discovered the truth.
dude.
Andrew wasn't the caller. There was no hostage situation. Andrew Finch became the first person to lose their life in a swatting call. The case made
That's so
national
bad.
headlines.
I feel like they should have, I understand you need to, like, be cautious and stuff, but wouldn't, like, one of your first things you do is tase someone first? Because doesn't that like bring down a person? I don't know, dude. I'm not a cop, but why don't you try and tase him first? He was rather confused. I also feel like the person who sent that guy the address should also have consequences and be punished for that, because what the heck, bro? It's also his fault.
Investigators knew it was a swatting call, and they were determined.
The swatting
to find
happened
the
because he
culprit.
gave the
Tyler
address.
Saw the story on the news. He realized that his prank ended a man's life.
The
But
cops
instead of
shot
showing
before
remorse,
asking
he decided to
questions.
brag
Yeah,
about
dude,
it.
that's
Tyler
a little
tweeted, "That kid's
corrupt and
house
unfair.
that I swatted is on the news." That single post made it easy for the police to track him down. Tyler
Dumbass.
was arrested on December 29th.
Dumbass!
one day after
I hope he
Andrew
stays locked
lost
up
his
forever.
life. A judge sentenced him to 20 years in prison.
Good.
But Tyler wasn't the only one held responsible. Remember the mysterious Call of Duty player who gave the fake
I'm
address?
glad they make
His
these
name
people pay
was
for
Shane.
their
He was tracked
actions.
down and sentenced to 18 months in prison for his role. This next case is about a streamer
wait, that was
who
the guy-
made a terrible mistake on a live stream.
Oh,
Staz Replay. Staz
Staz
Replay wasn't
Replay?
satisfied with life as a gamer. The
Gunner! Thank you for the follow. What the heck? Thank you for the sub. I appreciate you so much. I give a big kiss. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for joining the Reaver cult. You're stuck here forever now. Thank you so much, though. I freaking appreciate you,
problem
truly.
was money. Staz launched his YouTube channel in 2014. He did live
Alright, let's
streams
see.
playing Call of Duty and other games, hoping
Yeah,
to
swatting
make it
is
big
scary.
as a gamer. It
It's
didn't take long for
terrifying.
him to get frustrated. He
Isn't
wasn't making enough
Isn't this the guy who killed his girlfriend?
money from gaming, so Staz pivoted. He joined a trend called trash streaming. Trash streams weren't about fun, they were about humiliation. Here's
I'm
how it
pretty
worked.
sure,
The
right?
streamer would go live, often surrounded by friends. Then viewers donate money to make them perform dares. It sounds playful until you realize the dares can be anything. Some dares were silly, like throwing food. Others were extremely
Ew.
dangerous or degrading. One dare asked a streamer to bury someone alive, and the streamer did it. Another streamer
What?
burnt down a house just because they were dared to. The rule
What
was
the
simple.
fuck?
If a viewer paid, the streamer had to obey. The more
That's
extreme the
horrible,
dare, the higher
dude.
the donation. Technically, streamers could refuse dares, but refusing meant they wouldn't make money, and they could lose their audience. The biggest trash
Nah.
streamers had millions of subscribers on YouTube. For
That's
Staz,
horrible.
Trash streaming
I can't
was a
believe these
gold
type of
mine,
people
but
get
instead of sticking to
platformed.
goofy dares, he crossed into cruelty. His streams often featured him harassing homeless people or getting violent with friends on camera.
That's
For
so
the right donation, there
bad.
was nothing Staz wouldn't do. His behavior became so extreme that other streamers stopped working with him, but fans rewarded the
This
cruelty.
reminds me of the prank streamers who just keep taking it too far. You know, like the ones that are there's some that like have been harassing women, or you know, they take pranks just way too far with people, traumatizing them for like the rest of their lives. Horrible, dude, horrible. These people should be immediately banned. I don't know. I don't know, bro. With the streaming platforms, it feels like there's some type of corruption going on because they have all the means to ban these people immediately, but it takes so long and so much like outrage and, you know, people talking about it for them to get
Donations
banned.
poured in. Viewers demanded more inappropriate acts. Soon, they wanted Staz to target his
Tasing
own
has too many
girlfriend,
variables that make it
Valentina.
unreliable
Valentina
for
first
a
appeared
tool
on
in a
Staz's
hostage
streams
situation.
in the summer of 2020.
Okay, that makes sense, but I still feel so bad for the guy, you know, the innocent person who lost his life over that stupid shit.
At times, they looked like they really love each other, like the perfect couple. Other times, it seemed like they hated each other.
It's
They
just a
constantly
prank, bro.
fought on
After they
camera.
commit
Staz
crimes,
would
for
yell
real.
at Valentina, insulting her in front of thousands. The audience
Ew.
noticed, so they pushed Staz to be more aggressive with her. They paid money to see that.
Oh,
Viewers
hell
dared
nah.
Staz
Arrest
to throw
every
eggs at her. He
motherfucker
did. They paid him to pepper spray
encouraged
her. He
it.
did. The dares escalated into things too disturbing to describe. By September 2020, Valentina had enough. She reported Staz to the police, but no serious action was taken. Even then, Valentina kept showing up for Staz's live streams. Every time she appeared, donations
That's
poured
sad,
in because
dude.
viewers loved paying Staz to harass her. And one night, Staz
That's
agreed
horrible.
to a dare that would haunt him forever. It was the night of December
Kill
2nd
every
in
man in the
2020.
chat.
Staz was streaming
Who
with
encouraged
Valentina
him
and his
to-
friend Marina. At some point,
to
Marina
go
left.
worse,
now Staz
bro.
and Valentina
Castrate
were
them all.
alone on camera. Then a viewer offered $1,000 US for Staz to lock Valentina outside. The request
hell
was
nah,
insane because it
dude.
was winter. The temperature was between 17 degrees to 26 degrees Fahrenheit. That's
What a
below
piece of shit
freezing.
boyfriend,
But
too,
$1,000
for-
was too much to resist. So live on stream, Stas forced Valentina to go out on the balcony. Valentina
That's
knocked on the
so
door, but Stas
horrible.
ignored her. Eventually, the knocking
Horrible
stopped.
human being.
Stas finally opened the door to check on her. She wasn't moving. Stas panicked, but instead of calling an ambulance, he turned back to his viewers. For 2 hours, Stas kept streaming. When he finally
What
called
the
for
hell?
help, paramedics confirmed Valentina was gone. He was arrested and sentenced to 6 years in a maximum security prison.
Good. Dude, he
This
should
next
have...
gamer destroyed
Nah, dude. You see, this is what's wrong with fucking society. He should have been locked up for way more than 6 fucking years. Hello? What? He killed a girl essentially live on stream. That's so fucking heartless for $1,000, dude. Literally took a life. Horrible, horrible. I hope the girl's family got justice, because what the hell? I'm reminded of the dude on Kick that was tortured until he was unalived on Kick. Wasn't that really recent too? It was like an old man that was a part of like a group of streamers from like France or some shit. Correct me if I'm wrong, but hell no, dude.
his life for
That's
a
horrible.
ridiculous reason.
Yeah, in
Menhaz
France, she was
Zaman.
also pregnant.
Menhaz Zaman's parents
Ugh,
didn't just
every day
encourage
I
him to
lose
get
hope
good
for this
grades,
world.
They demanded it. Menhaz grew up in Canada, but his parents were immigrants from Bangladesh. They were strict about everything.
Putting the human rights violation aside, what do you mean you did all of that for only $1,000? For real, dude.
But most of all, they wanted Menhaz to do well in school and
Especially
become an
it being
engineer.
his
For
fucking
context,
girlfriend.
Academic achievement is a huge deal in Bangladesh.
probably saw her as
culture.
just a
Failing
prop
school
for his
isn't just
streams.
personal. It can bring shame to the entire family. For Menhaz, the pressure was suffocating. In 2015, he gave his parents the news they wanted to hear. He told them he was accepted
Hi.
into York University, one of Canada's
What's
top
going on today? We're watching some
colleges. They were
videos right
thrilled.
now.
Of course, Monrose and Momotaz were extremely pleased to hear the news, and this solidified his position as the golden child of the family.
Yeah, Menhaz was the golden child of the family, the obedient, respectful, and studious son. But the truth was far more embarrassing.
Yeah, 6 years is
Menhaz
way too
lied
short.
to his family. He didn't get admitted to York University. His grades
It's
weren't
literally
good
a
enough.
slap
but
in the
Menhaz
wrist.
couldn't bear to disappoint his parents.
For what he
so
did.
he lied and quietly enrolled at a lesser-known college. Even at this easier school, he struggled. He failed his classes and
Ooh.
eventually dropped out. Now he wasn't attending
Hi
college
there,
at all.
hi.
Still, the lie
How are you?
continued. He couldn't face his parents and admit failure. Each morning, Menhaz's parents watched him leave the house. They thought he was heading to campus. In reality, he was wandering through shopping malls or worked out at the gym. When he wasn't doing that, he was online playing a game called Perfect World. He also spent hours
Perfect
chatting on
World?
the game's Discord server. But lies can't last
Discord
forever.
mod.
A college degree takes 3 or 4 years. Soon, the day Menhaz was supposed to graduate arrived. July 28th, 2019.
Let's see how he got
began
out of
to
this
spiral.
one.
At this point, most people would come clean, but this was a secret he wanted to keep at any cost. So instead of disappointing his parents, he decided to end them. The day before the
What?
graduation, Menhaz sent this
Hello?
message on the Discord gaming server. Gonna end my parents and go to jail, yo. Other players brushed it off. Menhaz was known for crude,
What the
offensive
hell?
jokes, but this wasn't a joke. Minutes later, he posted photos of his lifeless family. Still, people didn't buy it.
In the beginning, other users
That's
weren't
so
really sure as
sad.
to whether or not they should even believe
What is
him.
wrong
It
with
seemed a lot more
people?
likely that he probably just pulled the picture off of a website somewhere and was trolling them.
Someone tried reverse image searching the picture. Nothing came up. It seemed the
I'm
photos were
okay.
real. The chat
I'm
erupted
doing good.
in
Hard,
chaos.
but I'm
Members
really-
scrambled
I'm
to
doing
figure
good, I'm
out
doing
who
good.
Menhaz really was.
Watching some
But all they
videos.
had was his handle. No real name, no address, no way to stop him. Meanwhile, Menhaz
Okay,
kept
thank you for the
typing.
follow
He
as
wrote,
well.
"It's been my plan for 3 years. Literally
Yeah,
told my
fucking
parents
coward,
my
dude.
uni graduation was July 28th.
I hope he's
I couldn't
still
have
locked
delayed
in
it any
jail.
longer. Then he made a mistake. He logged back into the Perfect World game. That login exposed his IP address. An IP address is like a digital footprint, so it was used to trace the device's location. Admins narrowed Menhaz's location down to Toronto. But Toronto is a massive city with millions of residents. Then Menhaz posted another update. He told the server his father and sister weren't home yet. When they arrived, he planned to do the same to them too. This was no longer a confession. It was a crime in progress. Discord users scrambled to track him down, but his sister and father came home first. And unfortunately, it was too late. Then Menhaz slipped
I
up.
was hoping
Again,
they would have
he
caught
offered
him
to send money
before
to the group
he
members.
did that
It
to
was his way of saying
the rest of
thanks
his
for
family.
being there for him. He asked everyone for their PayPal addresses, and he actually sent some of them cash. That transfer finally cracked his identity. It revealed his name. Police were alerted immediately. Officers surrounded his home.
When we
the
got to the
hell?
front door of the house, that's where we
Bro's an
confronted the
actual
man,
psychopath.
that 23-year-old man who's now in custody.
Before they
23!
entered, Menhaz typed one final Discord message. The police are here. Goodbye. At the trial, Menhaz pleaded guilty.
What the
He was sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole until age
Good.
64. This next gamer couldn't tell the difference between reality and games.
I hope he's
Devin
still locked
Moore.
up.
In 2003, Devin Moore was just
Devin
20.
Moore?
His life was already filled with problems. His childhood was brutal. His father forced him to work long hours and punished him harshly. There was no love in the home. Over time, Devin grew to hate his father. Despite everything, he tried to rise above it. He had no criminal record and earned straight A's in school. He was even accepted into the U.S. Air Force. He was due to leave for service at the end of the summer
Air
in
Force?
2003. But the problems at home wore him down.
Chat, have any of
Devin
you
spent
guys
more and
been
more
in the
time locked
military?
in his bedroom. There, he spent hours
served?
playing video games. His favorite was Grand Theft Auto Vice City. GTA Vice City was notorious
Dude, oh
when
my
it came
god,
out
this
in
is like a little side rant. I used to, when I was younger, I used to play GTA, and this was at my friend's house, because, you know, my parents were very strict, and I'm a female, and they would not let me have those types of games. They were like, that's too violent for you, you're a girl, you can't play that. And I would go to their house and play it, and all I would do was get into a helicopter and try to land at, like, the tippity top of one of the highest buildings that had, like, it had, like, this big pointy thing, so I would try to, like, land my character in the pointy thing. That's all I ever did, bro.
2002. Players could steal cars,
Unfortunately, I
attack
served. Thank you for
pedestrians,
your
and even end
service.
cops. It was so
I hope you're
wildly
doing
violent, the
good
parents
now.
tried to have it banned. For Devin, the game
I have a
became
friend
an
who
escape from
was
his
in the
problems.
Marines.
Over time, that escape turned into an obsession. Combined with his unresolved childhood issues, Devin started to lose touch with reality. He began to zone out or retreat into his own little world. Sometimes people could talk to Devin for extended periods, but he would remember none of it. The mix of isolation and
heck?
violence became a recipe for disaster. That disaster happened in June 2003. Around 3 a.m., police found Devin asleep in a car. It looked suspicious, so they ran the plates. The car was stolen. Devin was arrested, but he insisted he was innocent. He claimed he bought the car for $500. Still, officers brought him
Is he
in
trying
for
to do
questioning.
GTA
At
in
the
real
station,
life?
Devin seemed calm, but the calm didn't last. An officer removed Devin's handcuffs to take fingerprints. Then it happened.
Then suddenly, inexplicably, more snapped.
Devin grabbed the officer's weapon and fired.
No!
2 officers were hit. Devin then ran through the station and found another officer in the dispatch room. He did
Dude,
the
bro's
same to
actually
him,
trying to
too.
do
In less than a
GTA in
minute,
real life.
3
That's
officers
horrible.
were gone. Then Devin
No,
acted
did he
out
actually
something
kill
straight
them?
from GTA. He
That's
stole
horrible.
a car.
Along the way, Moore had grabbed a set of car keys. He went out the door to the parking lot, jumped into a police cruiser, and took off.
But this wasn't a game.
Oh my
Police caught him
God.
within hours. When arrested, Devin showed no remorse. Instead, he said, "Life is like a video game. You gotta end sometimes." Devin went to trial,
What?
but his defense team tried to
Dude, all these
explain
people
the
are
violence. They blamed
psychopaths.
Devin's actions on playing video games from the Grand Theft Auto series, in which players shoot police officers and steal cars.
Nah, he's had to
Interestingly, the crime
had
mirrored
something
stuff
going
he
on
did in the
before.
game. When the media heard that, they ran with it.
Devin Moore was, in effect,
Yeah, that's one thing that pisses me off, is that the media will hear one thing, like one single incident, and they'll attribute it to, like, see, this one incident is proof why video games make everyone violent. Shut
to do
up,
what he did.
bro.
He was given a murder simulator.
Okay,
There were
running.
headlines like GTA made me do it. Devin pleaded
Oh my
not guilty by
God.
reason of mental defect. His defense argued that his abusive childhood and obsession with
I met
GTA
Ronnie
caused him
recently.
to
I went to
enter
a
a
concert.
disassociative state when he committed the crime. But the jury didn't accept it. They decided Devin knew exactly what he was
Nah,
doing.
he knew what he was
given the
doing.
ultimate punishment, injection. This next case is about a gamer who
Damn!
would go to any length
He got
to play his
the death
favorite
penalty.
game. Daniel Petrick. Can violent video games affect a child's behavior? Daniel Petrick's parents thought they could. They set a strict rule for all their kids.
Holy
no
shit.
violent video games. 15-year-old Daniel was fine with his parents' ban on violent games. He was more interested in sports. He spent most of his time outdoors playing football. He even made the town's football team.
He played tailback for Wellington and was a defensive
Dude, football players are
linebacker.
scary.
He
Like,
was top notch.
Daniel had
they
a
could
bright
take some
future in
hits.
sports.
I don't know
Then
how y'all
at
do it.
16, a skiing accident destroyed that future. Daniel had a skiing accident and it was bad. Doctors said he could never play football again.
Oh, my
He can
life
no
would be
longer
shattered.
play any sports. He's done. Because if he breaks his back, he will be paralyzed.
Daniel was
Oh my
crushed.
gosh.
He needed time to heal and he could not play the sport he loved. During recovery, he did something he wasn't supposed to. He started playing violent video games in secret. He began with games like Call of Duty and Gears of War. Then he discovered Halo. Halo was rated M for mature because it contained violence.
Ooh, I love
It was
Halo.
exactly the
Halo's
kind of
fun.
game Daniel's parents hated. He became obsessed. Some days he played for 8 hours straight.
Oh,
when Halo
shit.
3 released,
My mic
Daniel
filters-
snuck out to buy it. His mother caught him with the game on the way home. His parents were furious.
We told him, even though you
forgot
spent
to turn them
some
on.
$70 on this game, you're not playing it.
I
and
turned
you're
them
not
off for
getting
the
it
other
back.
side.
Daniel's dad took the game and
Space
locked it in
silly.
a safe at home. To his parents, it was discipline. To Daniel, it was unfair. On October 13th, Daniel got into a
You
heated
see,
argument.
that's another thing that I think parents really need to keep in mind when they get into that really strict mindset, is that if you're gonna not allow something, you gotta be careful, bro, because the stricter you are and the more you're like, no, you can't fucking do this, you can't play these types of games, you're only gonna make your child more secretive. They're gonna be sneakier, they're gonna be more secretive, they're gonna want to do it. So I don't know, dude. I feel like parents need to proceed with caution and have a good game plan with that type of stuff, because it doesn't really work, you know? You just create rebellious children who know how to hide secrets better.
With his father about
This
Halo.
is coming from
The fight
someone who
escalated until
had
his father
extremely
snapped.
strict
Stop
parents.
playing games or leave the house.
You just
Daniel
become good
chose
at
to leave. He
hiding
spent
shit.
the weekend at a friend's house. There they played Halo for 16 to 18 hours a day, stopping
God
only to eat, sleep, and use the
damn!
bathroom. But Daniel
Holy
couldn't stay there
shit.
forever. When Daniel returned home, his anger toward his parents was deeper
16
than
to
ever.
18
That
hours
anger
is
was about
crazy.
to explode. Daniel's copy of Halo was still locked inside his father's safe, so he spent the next week searching for the key. Eventually, he found it. When Daniel opened the safe, he retrieved his game, but there was something else inside. A weapon. The dark idea formed in his mind. That night, Daniel was alone in the house
Yeah, I
with his
become a
parents.
master at
Around
hiding
7
stuff.
PM, Daniel Petrick walks up behind his parents. They're just sitting on the couch together.
Daniel asked them, "Would you guys close your eyes? I have a surprise for you." His parents closed their eyes and Daniel ended
Oh my
them. After his
God.
horrible crime, Daniel tried to cover his tracks. He put the item in his father's hand to make it look like his father did it. The plan failed. Daniel's sister and her husband came home just in time. They walked in, saw the scene, and called 911. When his sister showed up, Daniel panicked. He ran out of the house and fled in the family van. He only took
Ooh,
one
he
item
got
with him,
caught.
the Halo 3 game. Daniel's mom didn't
Bruh,
survive,
are you
but
fucking
his
kidding
father
me?
did.
I was in the hospital for, I think, 30 days.
His dad
They
survived.
did 5 surgeries on me.
From his hospital bed, Daniel's dad told investigators what really happened. Police tracked Daniel down and arrested
loser.
him. Even in handcuffs, Daniel tried to
Get
blame
caught.
his father. People couldn't believe it. A kid did all this because they took his game away. At trial,
They tried blaming Halo for the violence. It's like he decided to grab the gun from the safe. He knew what he was doing. I was like, yeah, bro, like, fucking Halo isn't gonna make you commit what he did. He willingly, on his own, got the gun and committed that. It's stupid when they try to blame it. Like, blame the kid! It was the kid who did it, not the video game!
Daniel's lawyers argued his gaming addiction warped his
Having
sense
religious
of
parents
reality.
growing
In
up,
other
I
words,
got
he didn't
good
know
at
what
hiding
he was
things.
doing.
Same.
The court rejected the insanity defense. Daniel was sentenced to 23
bro got
years
issues,
in
it's
prison
not the
with
game.
the possibility of
I agree.
parole. What happens when you mix dangerous substances with one of the most violent games ever made? Trouble. Warren LeBlanc.
What kind of
This
substance
is
are
a
we talking
story
about?
of two friends who bonded over their love of video games, but the games they played may have influenced one of them to take the other's life. The friends were Warren LeBlanc and Stefan Pokira. Warren was 17 and Stefan was 14. They spent hours together at Stefan's house playing games. Their favorite game was Manhunt.
He's been described as one of the most violent and gruesome video games ever produced for a mass market. It was so violent, in fact.
People will say that about any game.
Manhunt rewarded brutality. The more vicious the execution, the higher the score. The violence was graphic and detailed. For Stefan, it was just a game, but Manhunt was affecting Warren in ways no one could see. Reports say Warren had anger issues. He found it
is a
difficult
crazy
to
game.
manage
Have you
his
guys ever
emotions.
played it?
He started spending time with gang members in his neighborhood. Soon, he began using substances. That's how he got involved with a local gang called the Crusaders. Warren bought from them often, but his spending spiraled out of control. Before long, he owed the gang money, and they didn't take debt lightly. If he failed to pay, the consequences would be fatal. Desperate, Warren came up with a plan. He would rob someone to get the cash, but his choice was shocking. He targeted his own friend, Stefan. In November 2004, Warren lured Stefan to a nearby park. He told them they were meeting girls, but there were no girls. It was a setup.
It's basically a snuff film in game form. What the
heck? While they walked through the park, Warren allegedly went into a trance. At least that's what he claimed. He attacked Stefan with an object. By the time Warren came to his senses, it was too late. Stefan didn't survive. 2 hours later, police arrived at the scene. Warren was arrested on the spot. He confessed almost immediately. The case made global headlines, but instead of blaming Warren, much of the public blamed Manhunt. They felt playing such a violent—
Oh my god, bro. It was in the game. It was the guy. It was the kid who killed them. Hello, what? Hi, Tika, hi. These goobers would sit here and say chess is a violent game if it pushed their narrative. For real. For real, dude. Ugh. Literally, all of these stories boil down to the inability to emotionally regulate. They do. If it all boils down to mental health issues and, you know, psychopaths and just very fucked up people, it's not the games. Like, a lot of people in society play games. And we're not, you know, no one's a fucking killer.
The game messed with Warren's head. One disturbing detail fueled the outrage. The weapons Warren used—
Though I will say, I do, like, think that, well, this is, like, kind of completely different from video games, because I know a lot of people, or this is an issue with a lot of people, is that, like, those types of people who are, more likely to commit these types of crimes and, you know, and do commit them, they either get into drugs or they'll watch things like gore videos. So I feel like that's where you should be putting more of your focus in, not on something as silly as a video game. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. The whole point of the game is to kill people and film it for some shady dude that makes enough films. What the hell? What the hell? I'm glad I got banned then. He joins a gang, starts using drugs, owes money, so attacks and kills a friend in a way to get money. Blames video games. I know, right? It makes no sense.
In real life were the same ones used
It
in
makes
the
no
game.
sense.
In the UK, Manhunt was pulled from store shelves. The ban quickly spread to New Zealand, Australia, and Germany. But one question remained. Was Manhunt to blame, or was Warren already headed down a destructive path? The courts put the responsibility on Warren. He was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum of 15 years. Making friends online can be dangerous. This next case proves that. Guilherme Alves Costa. Guilherme Alves Costa was an 18-year-old living in Brazil. He absolutely loved playing games online, but he wasn't just having fun on the internet. Eventually, he stumbled onto the dark web. There, he joined chat rooms where people shared violent fantasies. Guilherme was
the dark web is so scary, dude.
By this dark content.
Sometimes I'll watch like I'll get TikToks at night, at like the middle of the night for some reason, and it just recommends like videos of people talking about it, and I'm like, I'm scared now.
Thoughts as well.
I
It was
can't
during this time
sleep.
that Guilherme met Ingrid. They became friends during
That's
an online
terrifying,
Call
dude.
of Duty match. Guilherme began to trust her. He confided in her about his mental struggles. Ingrid, trying to be supportive, wanted to help, but soon she realized his thoughts were far darker than she imagined. He once
That's
sent her a photo of
scary.
himself holding a weapon. Another time, she asked if he would help him carry out violence in a church. One night, he sent her a weird message: "You must be mine." These were serious red flags,
She
but
sent
Ingrid
him
saw
that?
them as cries for help. She didn't know Guilherme was spending time on dark web chat rooms that encouraged his fantasies.
Have you heard of
Eventually, they
Canal
started meeting in person. Ingrid
Cinco?
visited his
Like,
home, met his mother, and played
this,
games with him. Ingrid thought Guilherme was getting better.
Channel
He
5, like
wasn't.
the
He was
Mexican-
actually
Hispanic
getting
one?
worse. Guilherme started
what?
hearing voices in his head. He was in a very dark place. On February 22nd, 2001, Guilherme texted Ingrid. He said he was feeling
Yeah.
sad and wanted her to visit. Ingrid agreed. She arrived around 10 a.m. The two were alone at home. They talked and played Call of Duty. At one point, they took this photo together. But around 1 p.m., Guilherme snapped. He attacked Ingrid with an object. She didn't
What the
survive.
fuck?
Then he took photos of the crime scene and posted them online, like he was proud of himself.
That's
Social
so
media went
messed
into a
up.
meltdown. Police raced to Guilherme's home and arrested him. When police asked why he did it, his answer was chilling: "Because I wanted to." Guilherme was sentenced to 14 years in prison.
Oh
Doctors later
Only
diagnosed him
14
with
years?
persistent delusional disorder and antisocial personality disorder. He's currently receiving psychiatric treatment behind bars. This next gamer was
Good, but
the worst
fuck,
kind
you should
of
be
evil.
locked up for longer. I feel
Stephen McCullough.
horrible for that
On December
lady.
18th,
May she rest
2022,
in
police
peace.
in Northern Ireland received a
fucked
call about a crime. Someone ended 32-year-old Natalie McNally in her own home. There were no signs of forced entry. That meant Natalie likely
Brazil?
let her killer inside. Her body
She
was
just wanted to
discovered by her
help someone?
boyfriend, Stephen McCullough. He was the one who called
So
the police.
sad, dude.
Stephen was taken to the station for questioning, but he was quickly ruled out as a suspect. Stephen had an airtight alibi. Stephen ran a YouTube channel where he reviewed toys and collectibles.
Hello,
Oh.
YouTube viewers and random Doctor Who fans. Or
Wait,
hello
isn't this the
friendos
guy that
I
like
don't
went
know how to introduce
like
these.
live?
He was also a gamer. And on the
He, like,
night
did
of
a
the crime,
pre-recorded live
Stephen was
stream?
doing a live stream playing games
Yeah.
for 6 hours straight.
It's just floating.
Very sad how kind people don't deserve this. I know,
The
right?
video was still up
That's
on
so
his
sad.
YouTube channel. Stephen was on camera the entire time. Apart from that, Stephen didn't have a motive to hurt Natalie. They seemed like a happy couple. They were even expecting a baby together.
There's no red flags
That's
on either side of
horrible.
the couple. Like, they seem like they would both be
A
amazing
fake live
parents.
stream,
The
yeah.
investigation continued. Police dug deeper into Natalie's relationships. That's when they realized that Stephen did have a motive to harm Natalie. When investigators searched Natalie's phone, they saw strange messages. It turns out she was secretly chatting with her ex-boyfriend. Just 3 days before the incident, she exchanged 33 WhatsApp messages with that ex.
That
Some
still
of these
doesn't
messages
warrant
were romantic.
fucking
Detectives
killing
believed Stephen saw those
someone.
messages, and he was probably mad. Now, cops had a theory. A jealous boyfriend who discovered his partner texting her ex. But suspicion wasn't enough. To arrest Stephen, they needed to dismantle his alibi, the live stream. At first glance, the live stream cleared Stephen, but experts noticed strange details. Throughout the video, Stephen kept reminding viewers that he was live.
Hey, and we're live. That's the fun of being live. So I just thought, why not?
Oh, what
I'm
the
gonna
heck?
do a live stream.
He also claimed he couldn't read the
Wait,
chat.
that's kind of weird.
Because this streaming software is kind of up the left, it means I can't check the live chat, which is a real shame.
That was unusual. Why go live if you
Huh?
can't interact with your viewers? Cyber experts were invited to analyze
they
the
give a
live
follow?
stream footage, and they all had the same conclusion. The stream wasn't live. Stephen recorded it
Hey,
days
chat, we're currently
earlier
live
and
right
played
now?
out as if
The fuck?
it was live. His alibi collapsed. When confronted with the
Yeah,
evidence,
just because
Stephen
someone
admitted the
cheated,
truth.
that doesn't,
the stream
like,
wasn't live.
warrant
His new
you
story
going
was
to
that
the
on the night
extremes
of the
of
crime, he was
killing
drinking in his
someone.
house and fell asleep. But he
That's
had no
some
witnesses
psychopath
to back
type
it up.
shit.
Then detectives found another piece of evidence against Stephen. CCTV cameras near Natalie's home captured a man who looked just like Stephen. The evidence was overwhelming. On January 31st, about a month after the crime, police arrested Stephen again. His case went viral on the internet.
I think this is the only time that someone has
Yeah,
tried to
Charlie
use a
did
live
talk
stream
about
to
this.
prove their innocence
and act as a smokescreen to cover up their crimes.
Stephen pled not guilty. His trial is still scheduled for November 2025.
It still hasn't happened.
Games can bring
this
people
is happening
together
next
from
month.
all over the world, but it
Holy
can also
shit, it's so
isolate
active.
you from the real world. My friends, don't let a virtual world become more important than the life you're actually living.
That's
Visual
crazy.
venture.
The goat. Go follow him. Go show him lots of love. He's awesome.